Excellent. So, excellent. So I can see how bad the delay is. Let me close some of these windows. Prices are not good on Amazon Load Board. Let that email go. Hello to the YouTube world. Um, A or A plus. Since I put these live streams up later, there's some information as far as Amazon Relay that I think people need to. Most carriers should have got this email, which is basically saying that Amazon is changing the early access policy to you have to have an A or A plus now to get early access, which is going to change the dynamic of your score and getting early access to get to the loads on Amazon, which is it's kind of terrible because their rating system is already kind of horrible. For instance, I went on a load last night, and due to Amazon's error, I was running late for the second load. So, and if you don't catch that email or the notification saying what's going on with the time frame of your load, then they basically ding you for it, which is not fair. I can't wait to start working out. A&D Games, how are you, man? I'm doing pretty good. So your name is A&D Games. Are you a game channel? I asked that because the topic that I wanted to try and get out today was 5-year plans. So when it comes to game channels, in 5 years, that's a long time to expand a gaming channel. So, you have any goals set for your channel, or are you even doing a channel, or is that just the name you picked and you're not currently YouTubing, I should say? Hey, Kevin, how you doing, man? Yeah, I'm interested in other people's 5-year plans because for the past maybe 8 or 9 years almost, well, no, 10 years, I've had a 5-year plan every um, 5 years. And my notion usually is, as long as at the end of that 5 years I hit what I set out to do, whatever setbacks in that 5 years, I usually don't fret about, because some people can get discouraged. Let's say year two, it doesn't look like they're moving forward, but then by year 3 or 4, things start progressing again, and then by year 5, you hit your mark. So when it comes to my 5-year plans, as long as I get to the goal by the end of it, it could be the last day of the 5-year plan. As long as I get there, I'm usually okay. So my last two 5-year plans, I hit the mark basically. Okay. Ah, okay, okay. I see. Well, when it comes to the gaming, uh, you know, Battlefield 2042 is about to come out. That's a good game to get back into it with. You can really grow your channel with that game. I'm sure of it. In general, um, even if you're not doing YouTube, or even if you're not doing business, let's say you're working a job right now, you still should have a 5-year plan. Um, I learned about a 5-year plan from reading articles about things that rich people do, and watching YouTube videos actually. Things that rich people do that poor people don't do, or people that aren't rich, I should say, because, it isn't just poor people, but that's how I learned about the 5-year plan. And it actually helped me out, as well as putting your goals down on paper and actually seeing them. It's one of those things that if you speak it, it can come into light. So you just got your authority. Congrats, man. Okay. We need a let's see if we can get a, yeah, there we go. Definitely for that authority. Yeah. So you're ready to go. So you're doing the box truck thing, right? Listen, the rules change for next year as far as getting your CDL. I would highly recommend you looking into getting your CDL, um, because so much more is on the table. Even if you decide to stay in box truck world, you're just in a better position with just having that as a fallback just in case. So I would say, because I'm going to get my CDL this year too. I actually downloaded the application for Virginia, not the application, the manual. I had my CDL a couple years back, so I don't need to actually go to driving school. But I would say, if you're going to, it's just something to have in your back pocket, almost like a safety net. If something happens with your box truck, you can go work for somebody else and make what your box truck makes with your CDL. So, yeah, that's cool, man. You know what? Being that you just got your authority and you just applied for Amazon, let's talk about this real quick. Because there are a lot of videos that talk about um, how much money you can make. Now, my question to you would be, do you plan to go over the road, or do you plan to just to try and do Amazon locally? Because right now, I'm just doing Amazon locally. That's Millie. What do you want, Millie? Come on. You want to see what's going on? Come on. You sit here for a second. And you gotta. She's got to check it out. Check it out. Am I live? Is it okay? Am I good? Okay. I don't need no kisses. Bye. So when it comes to what you can make realistically, locally, and over the road, there's a lot of videos that talk about it, and I see people kind of going at it with each other over, I don't know if it's falsification of it, because everybody's situation is different. But being that you're just getting started, I would say this, what I just said, definitely applies to you. So when you get into Amazon and you start getting your score and you're at an A, starting in September, they're going to make it so you have to have an A to get early access, and that early access is everything. You can do post a truck, but you probably won't get as much, as many. Because right now, let me see. So I think it's around 3 o'clock today. The load board filled up with the next set of next week's loads for Amazon Relay. So I went ahead and filled up my week next week. So I got 6 days. I got 6 days loaded up next week, and hopefully they don't cancel them on me. But for the 6 days that I'll be working, it's going to be around $2,300. So that's good for me locally. Not the best, but not the worst. I can pay my bills, and if I can get that weekly, I can grow every week. So that's really the goal right there, is to grow. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm happy with what I'm making with that. I don't mind going a little further, as far as, North Carolina. I'm in Virginia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Maryland, DC. But I don't really want to travel the road with a truck, especially a box truck. It's completely uncomfortable. I give these guys complete credit that do it, but I can't do it. I'm 6'7", so even the width of my truck, it's not wide enough, so it's completely uncomfortable. So as long as, when you be early to get your load, so you can be early out to get to the location. The sooner you are to the location, the less you have of issues when it comes to being late. So it looks like they're really going to trying to. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to get us out of there when it comes to box trucks, but they kind of need us. They can't right now, and that's only because post offices, you can't get. There's first and foremost the workforce is not there, and number two, you can't get other types of vehicles to come in to the post offices and deliver. There's not a fleet of trucks out there or a company with enough trucks out there. So what I would say is good. I don't mind Amazon at all. So good that you got Amazon. But what I would say is diversify if you can. Try and get somebody else if you can. Now, being that you just got your authority, have you? What's your 5 year plan going towards? What do you or do you plan on scaling it, like more trucks, employees, and all of that, or do you plan on diversifying your businesses, or you know, I can tell you a little bit about my ultimate goals. My 5 year plan starts with a solid running business. That being, it was supposed to be the lunch trailer that I had earlier. That was supposed to be my solid, viable business, especially in this pandemic. Lunch trailers are actually doing really well right now. Then it turned into how early can you be at the Amazon facility? I try to get there 30 to 45 minutes early every time. And I've had one situation to where actually being that you're just starting, you want to get there early because you got to go inside and get a badge. It's actually out in the truck. I got a permanent badge now. Ooh, man, sorry about that. I got a permanent badge now, so I don't have to go inside no more. I just drive straight up to the gate. But you want to be there as early as you can, 30, 45 minutes, an hour early, just in case, number one, there's a lot of trucks there, and then you have to go inside and get your badge. After a couple weeks, they issued me an email for it to come get my badge, but I think you can request that email so you can get the process going faster. Um, a fleet with 5 trucks, and I wouldn't mind that either. I wouldn't mind going that route too. But I have so many other businesses that I want to get into that I don't know if I will put my full energy into the trucking business unless I get several tractor trailers, and then I'll hire a dispatcher and have them doing it so I can kind of like automate the system, pay them well, and then I can make some money because they'll be my trucks. Yeah, you're just getting started, so ask away if you got any questions, man. I want to make sure because once you take a ding on your score, it's kind of hard to get back up, and they they kind of show you no love. It's really ridiculous. I think they're a little strict, as if they don't understand. Like trucks break down every day. I think they don't understand that. Like a pre-trip inspection can only go so far. I don't care how thorough you are, and I'm my own mechanic, so I know what I'm looking at when I look at my truck. And still, you can't. There's certain things you just can't avoid on the road. It could be an accident or something, or and not even involving you. It could be an accident a couple miles down the road, which they give you an opportunity to say something about it, but it seems like they still ding you too. What do you want? Okay. Oh, how you doing, Box Truck Couple? You about to pass out? Hey, I'm not gonna be on here that long tonight, because I got I'm starting my exercise program tonight, so I'm gonna hit the weights tonight, and then I'm gonna pass out. I had a long week myself. Yeah, fleet of five trucks. That's a nice number too. Not too much, but enough to make you some serious revenue over the years. My thing is when it comes to employees, um, I almost rather have contractors than employees because my experience with employees in other businesses that I had is employee like people just don't want to work hard out here. Everybody wants to be the boss, but nobody wants to work as hard as the boss. And when it comes to the way people act, the way people think, they just don't want to work out here. But it's like if you hire contractors, they are kind of already on their own grind, so they think different and they go harder. Hmm, truck is shaking. Okay, there could be a couple things. There could be ball joints. I'd hate for it to be that because that would be really expensive. Most likely, number one is your tires. Did you put the tires on, um, or have you had them balanced? Because that'll cause a shake too. So, um, number one, check the tires. You can actually rub your hand along the tire to see if it's smooth, and you sometimes if it sometimes you can feel the bubble or the because when people slam on the brakes, it kind of wears unevenly. So you can actually feel the ripples in the tire if it's that. If you have good tread and it looks like a new tire, still have the tires checked out. Um, and then after that, go to that more critical stuff, which will be the control arms and ball joints and the bushings. Because while you're going down the road, if it's like vibrating, it also could be no, that wouldn't be the rotors. Yeah, I check the tires and the ball joints and control arms, bushings and all of that. But do you own your truck is the question. Oh wow, yeah, they were wearing on the outside. Oh yeah, definitely. See, you get an alignment, and that takes care of a lot of the issues with your tires wearing unevenly. And mind you, these tires are like, what did I pay? I paid $350 a tire. So my pickup truck tires are also $350, but that's not a cheap thing to do. But that's the cheapest in your issue as far as if your truck is riding kind of rough on the road, especially at 45 miles an hour. Does it smooth out when you get up higher up in speed? Because that says something too. And I'm gonna have to replace these as well. Some things. Um, oh, it smooths out after. Yeah, I would say tires. I would say tires. If you didn't replace your tires, if it smooths out as you get past 45, I would say that's the tires first. Because ball joints, you would feel it from once you get up to speed and the tires and you start getting some motion on the road, you would feel it all the way through. So I doubt it's your ball joints. It sounds like the tires. You need new tires. And if you purchased your truck or however you got your truck and you didn't put the tires on them, that's That's whoever did had it before. That's the wear and tear of the tire. I doubt an alignment will fix that, so I wouldn't even go that route. It sounds like you need new tires. But if it's bearable and your tires are still good, I mean, you might just have to live with it to get some life out of the tires and put some money under your belt. Hey, Malachi, are you done? Well, sit down and eat and hurry up and get out of here. When you accelerate, it seems like it doesn't want to go. Have you done oil change? Have you done fuel filter change? Water separator change? Those make a big difference. Well, okay, let me ask you this. What maintenance have you done so far on your truck? Because that also plays a part as well. So if you haven't done the standard maintenance yet, you might be running on old oil. You might be your water separator is the one that has a little plug on the bottom. That's the one you need to open up and let the water out, because that water gets into the system, gets into the fuel system, and it actually causes the engine to run more rough. So if you haven't done that, you could try that. Those parts usually aren't expensive, and they're not hard to replace. As you've seen on my channel, they're not that hard to replace. So I think I paid $50 altogether for the water separator and the fuel filter. They're not expensive. So if those are parts, if that's something you can do yourself, do it and see how it rides then. I'm gonna have to put out my maintenance paper, because that seeming like it doesn't want to go, that's the same thing my truck was doing. And then after I changed the pedal, because I was getting real bad pedal feedback, after I changed that, it kind of helped. But then after I changed the fuel filters, oh man, that thing was like night and day. I really noticed it going up into the mountains. When I'm going up, it would go. With load, I think I slowed down to about 45 miles an hour. Now with load, I'm about 55 miles an hour. You're going to slow down because, okay, you just purchased it. You're going to slow down going uphill, but I noticed my truck has more oomph going uphill with load. Without load, I'm flying. I only do 65 miles an hour though. I don't care what the speed is. You just purchased it, so yeah, you just got to do you know, you got to go over it. You got to see what's going on with it and see what it needs. If it needs brakes, being that you just purchased it, do you have a warranty, or who's doing the maintenance? And you got a nest egg saved up to do that stuff, because everything in commercial is more expensive, man. Everything, like some of the simplest stuff. And I understand they're big parts, but they're not anything crazy to where, it warrants a $1,500, $1,600 extra charge. But that's the world we live in. Plus, they know you're a business. They think you got it. They don't care that you just started and you got a finite expenses that you're trying to cap. They don't care. They don't care. They say, hey, you're a business. You got this commercial truck. You can afford it. So what I would say is just especially before you start Amazon, if that's what you're trying to do, so you won't mess up your scores, go over that truck with a fine-tooth comb and see everything you need. And if you have the funds, try to take care of it. If you don't have the complete funds, then do the more critical things first, like get those tires. Blowouts are a common thing on the highway, and number one, because truck drivers usually get crappy tires. They get the cheap tires, and I don't mean cheap as in brand new. I mean the retreaded tires. They get those most, like 9 times out of 10 they're getting those. And then next thing is just regular maintenance that's not being done on the truck. Are you guys done in there? Get out the kitchen then. These guys live in the kitchen. Boys, all they do is eat. I remember those days. We used to eat my mom out of house and home too. Eat because you're bored. Yeah, the part that I found yesterday that needs to be replaced on my truck. Um, it's just one of those parts that goes bad, but luckily it's an easy part for me to replace. I mean, if it wasn't, I'd still have to replace it because um, they charge too much. They just charge way too much money. The parts themselves aren't expensive. The part's $30. But if I took it to the dealership, they every bit of $200-300 to replace that little part. I I can't fathom that. That's ridiculous to me. I I don't know any truck mechanics. Like I said, I'm my own mechanic. So, and the reason being I'm my own mechanic is because I don't know any, and then just the cost is just too much. Um, so what I don't know, I learn honestly. Um, I get the tools. Uh, I get on YouTube. Some of the stuff is not on YouTube, especially with these commercial trucks. But uh, what type of truck do you have? You got a Hino International, Ford, Chevy. When it comes to the mechanics, I would try. I would say a Craigslist mechanic first, only because they'll give you a better deal. There's some really good guys on Craigslist. I'm not gonna crap on all of them. There's some really good one-offs that, but you got to find them. It's like a needle in a haystack. But if you can find them, then you'll have a good mechanic. These trucks are no different than any other vehicle on the road. The parts are just bigger and heavier. So there's really no difference in the way a diesel pickup truck runs and a diesel tractor trailer or box truck. Um, but I only know my particular engine. Well, I guess there's no need for me to learn any other one because I don't have those trucks. But I'm running an F750, so and it's got a Cummins engine in it, inline six, so which is similar to the one that's in the Dodge. I think it's just bigger. But that's I'm trying to learn everything I can about that engine, so when I encounter problems, I know what I'm looking at. I know what to look for, especially if I'm out on the road. But 9 times out of 10, if you're not running your truck into the ground and you do proper oil changes, check the coolant level, most likely you're not going to have those type of problems. A lot of these engines, they're really really good, and of course depending on the transmission pairing too. So I got the better combination, which is the Cummins with the Allison transmission. So you got an international, 110,000 miles. Wow, that's good. That's really good. Mine had 157. I thought that was good. That's great. So other than with that low of miles, it has to be your tires that's causing um, the shudder, the shake, and most likely it is fuel filters. Do you have okay? So most likely it was a fleet truck. Do you have um, I wouldn't say maintenance records, but do you have something in the truck that shows, because in my truck I even have it. It's on the window because it was a budget truck, so it shows when they did certain maintenances at certain miles. If you have any of that, you can check it out to see if they've done the fuel filters, or you could just look at them and see if they look old. 110,000 miles. That truck was on the road. It wasn't on the road forever, but it was on the road. So I would check to that's one of the first things I would check and replace. And if they look old, just go ahead and replace them because it'll do the truck great. I don't know what engine is in that. You know what? 2014 International. Let me check. While we're sitting right here, let's. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, they didn't take none of my jobs away. Let's see what a 2014 International. Let's see what. I think that's got a. Let me see the engine. So it might be a Navistar DT466. Yeah, if I'm looking at it correctly, that's probably a Navistar. Which those are decent engines. They're not the top of the line, but not the worst. They do the job. 215 horsepower. And I assume yours is the International 4300 in the name. No, let me see how much those fuel filters. Fuel filter replacement. Okay. Ooh, no, that can't be. That filter itself, if you got the Navistar engine, is $52. And if I'm looking at the right water separator, it's $25. So nothing crazy at all. That's why I say, Anchor Watt, how you doing, brother? Yeah, I would say replace those fuel filters immediately and take her out on the road and see what she drives like. I would definitely do that first. Definitely. That will help you out a whole bunch to at least take care of the cheapest thing first. Like with in mechanics, when you're working on cars, you work on the cheapest thing first. When you're going towards the problem, you find the cheapest thing first, and you work your way up to the more expensive things. So those fuel filters, being that you just got the truck, is definitely 100% in your best interest to get that fuel filter changed and the water separator, and go from there. And then if your power doesn't come back from that, what will be next? I would say oil change after that. Which, if you just got the truck, I would do an oil change anyway. Like the DEF fluid that goes in the tank that calls it like bad DEF. Uh, if that's the case, yeah, but you don't want to go that route. Hopefully, I mean, I think you can drain those tanks. I think they have drains on them. DEF fluid can go bad, but I just had to research this myself because I'm new to the DEF world. Now, if it's the DPF, the diesel particulate filter, that big canister that sits under the truck, that's different. and that's super expensive. Those are like $3,500 for one of those. But if it's the DEF that you have to put in to go into the exhaust fluid, the diesel exhaust fluid that you got to put in, that stuff can go bad. So if the truck was sitting for a long time, and that's what the research that I found said, if the truck sits for a long time or the vehicle sits for a long time, that's what breaks down that chemical in there. And then when you go to put it in your truck, it can make it go bad. But you can try draining that tank and putting new fluid in there, fresh fluid, to see if that caused the problem. But hopefully that's not it. Hopefully, because that can be a set of gremlins that you got to chase, and you're just starting out. You don't want to chase those types of problems. I think, and I want to say that DEF tank has a drain at the bottom. If it doesn't have a drain, then there are siphons that you can get, hand siphons that you can pump and siphon the fluid out of there, so you can put new stuff in there. Definitely. Your truck is 2014. I assume it was on the road just last year, so I kind of don't think that's the problem, but it doesn't hurt because DEF is not expensive. I actually get, because I was doing the research on the DEF, I actually get the stuff from Walmart 9 times out of 10. I do go to the pump sometimes, but it's always on the wrong side. So, and I'm not paying much more for the stuff at Walmart. The Super Tech at Walmart is what I get. Blue is the next that I've gotten before, but I watched this guy's YouTube video on it, and he literally broke down the manufacturers who manufacture the DEF, and there's really no difference. Different names. Walmart buys some, Blue buys some. The only one that's different is that Blue Platinum. That's the only one that's different. But as far as wherever you get it from, AutoZone's version of it, Walmart's version of it, which happens to be the cheapest. Who else? Pep Boys, whoever, wherever you get it from, it's pretty much all the same. There's really no difference in them. So, but it can go bad though, which I didn't know. It can go bad, and if it goes bad and you put it into your truck, it will mess the truck up. Your best bet right now is to learn yourself everything in your wheelhouse. I'm not saying you should, become a full-blown mechanic, because to know what I know, it took years of working on vehicles to know what I know, to know how to. Most mechanic stuff is just part replacement. You're not really the real trick to being a mechanic is the diagnostic, and diagnostic without the machine, knowing how to listen to the engine and know when it's acting up. But you don't need to go that deep in it. You just need to know the price of the parts and the labor, and if you possibly could do it yourself as your own cheat code. That's the best thing. Hmm. What do you mean by that? You don't have a tank DEF? The International should be on your passenger side by the steps, isn't it? When I look at the pictures of them, some of them have double tanks. 2014, maybe that's too new. Huh. Just looking at some pictures of some Internationals. It's a nice looking box truck. Oops, sorry about that. That's air brakes. Um, where's your tank located then? Oh yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, A&D, I want to know how much you pay for your truck as well. Um, with that low of mileage, I paid 31 for my truck. Um, my truck is a 2013 F750 with the Maxon 3,000 pound lift gate. No air brakes. It's got hydraulic brakes, which is something that I wanted. I didn't want air brakes because I knew I could work on hydraulic brakes. I've never worked on air brakes before. Not to say that I couldn't, but I didn't want to work on air brakes. So, hydraulic brakes. What else? That's pretty much it. It's got the inline six Cummins diesel in it. Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right in line. I mean, you got market value basically. So you're doing good, man. 30K. Yeah, you're right in line with that mileage on it. That's a win right there. That's a super win to me. Yeah, that's definitely a win. 30K. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. I'm pretty sure you can beat that somewhere, but market value for the mileage that you have, yeah, you did good right there. That's a great deal. So you have no DEF tank at all. So who's because you said somebody said the DEF caused the problem. So if you don't have a DEF tank, how would that cause a problem? Is my question. Unless they're saying the DPF, like that big cylinder that looks like another muffler underneath the truck. Because trucks have had DPFs before DEF was a standard. The diesel particulate filter, the big canister thing, they've had that on the trucks before DEF was a thing. Being that your truck is 2014, you should have DEF. You should be putting in DEF. Let me see. No, wait a minute. Do you have any lights on your dash? Because I ran into a guy a couple weeks ago. He didn't know what the symbol on his dash meant, and it looked like a puff of smoke. And I was telling him that's your truck saying your DEF is getting low and you need to replace it because he didn't know what it was. That was actually at the Amazon facility. Oh, you have air brakes too? Now, I've wondered with the air brake trucks non-CDL, do you have to get air brake endorsement? Because when I got my CDL, I could have sworn if you drove a vehicle with air brakes, but that was non-CDL, you had to get air brake endorsement for commercial applications. If you're driving a motor home, some of the Class A, the big motor homes, those have air brakes, but because they're private use, you don't have to get uh, the air brake endorsement. But from what I thought, because I see a lot of guys with the air brakes, and I always ask, hey, you got your Class B? Because usually you have to get or have that endorsement on your license, which is nothing but a test. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to go get a air brake truck because I thought I had to get that endorsement. But it looks like he doesn't. I don't know. You know what? I wish I would have set up the Zoom because I'd really like to just talk, especially when it comes to your truck having some issues. Um, I got to figure out the Zoom stuff. Oh, your DPF. Okay. Is that an E on the end of that? So, has anybody said about your DPF that you need to get it changed? There's an E on the end of that. If uh, if that if that part has gone bad, um, um, if that part has gone bad, um, I don't know if that could be. Well, hmm, you usually have to get them replaced, or well, you said okay. So you're saying the DPF. Somebody said it was bad, and um, that's causing your power loss. That's what you're saying. And where are you located? A and D. Now, Anchor, you said DBF2. What is a DBF? I'm not familiar with that. Those letters. There's DEF, diesel exhaust fluid. There's DPF, diesel particulate filter. What is DBF? Is there a filter I don't know about? You guys school me. I know what we can do. Okay, okay, okay. So if hmm, if somebody's saying that might need to be fixed, um, I don't know that they fixed them. That's the thing about it. I don't know if they actually fixed them. I think they just replaced them because it's almost like a catalytic converter. When your catalytic converter goes bad, you replace it. You don't usually fix it. Let me see here. You know what? Um, do you have? You see my? Let me see. Did I put it in there? A&D. You see my Instagram on the? You see my Instagram in the description? Because we got to talk about this. I gotta. This is racking my brain. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Charlottesville. Okay, yeah. I was just I just passed by there last night. No, night before last. I was in Charlottesville. I went to Luray last night, right near Skyline Drive. Oh my God, it's so beautiful out there, man. I Every time I go to Charlottesville and I pass Charlottesville going to Stanton, and I see the valley, oh my God, it's just so beautiful. I just sit there with the biggest smile on my face just because the mountains look so beautiful. Every time. So I was out in Luray last night, um, and I had to go over a couple mountains to get there. But then once I had to drive up a mountain, completely up it, almost to the top of it, before I had to come back down. Um, and it was just beautiful. I just that was Shenandoah headquarters, Shenandoah National Park. It's just gorgeous. I love it. If you can, if you want to, you can actually get on my Instagram so I can we can actually talk live. I don't even know how to do that. I've never done it on Instagram. Oh yeah, I do. I do know how to do that. So have you priced the diesel particulate filter uh, for your truck? It's not that bad. Use international box truck. No, diesel particulate filter. International diesel particulate filter. Eesh. Yeah. So if it's the DPF, you're looking anywhere from 1,500 to $2,500 for the part, which is not not cheap. Well, here's one. I guess it also depends on the shape of it too, what part number it comes with, because this one's only 1250. I mean, it's like a glorified catalytic converter, if you ask me. Changes the diesel soot into carbon dioxide and water. So you do have a DEF in your truck. Then you do have DEF fluid that you have to put in your truck. But somebody was telling you the DPF is what could be causing your sluggish issue. And that's possible. That's very possible. I would hate for it to be that, being that you just got the truck. That would suck. That would suck terribly. Yeah, and being that um, you don't know anything about the truck, I wouldn't. I don't even want to think that route. I say $50 fuel filters that'll fix it. Let's talk about that. Let's say the fuel filters is what's causing the sluggish issue. Like I said, if our the tanks around the country, depending on where the truck came from and where they drove it to and where they got their fuel from, sometimes there's a lot of water in the fuel. That's what the water separator is for. It separates the water outside of the diesel, and then you got to drain the water. If that hasn't been done in a while, that can cause a sluggish issue. Simple as that. You can drain it and then put a new filter on it to make sure that that's working properly. Boom, the problem solved. Now you got your power back. It's not sluggish anymore. So let's start with let's think easy first, and then we'll go to harder things. That's a little bit more crazy and expensive. But let's not start with that because that could be a very expensive fix. Do oh, do you have an ELD yet? If you do have a check engine light, okay. Well, do you have a check engine light? Number one, do you have a check engine light? Because if your DPF is bad, you would be throwing a check engine light. Just thought about that. I don't know why I didn't think about that before. So if you don't have a check engine light, it's probably not your DPF. So that would eliminate that problem. So the number one question is, do you have a check engine light? If you do have a check engine light, you're going to have to get an ELD. If you get the Keep Trucking ELD, it's going to read the codes and tell you the faults on the website. So then you can figure out exactly what the issue is. That's weird, man. You don't have a tank to where it goes with the fluid. That's odd. That's really odd. That's a 2014. People modify them. I mean, people modify the trucks and take that stuff out, and somebody could have done that to yours. Somebody did it to my pickup truck. I thought all this time I was supposed to have EGR and all that, but my pickup truck doesn't even have all of that. So I don't put DEF in my pickup truck, but it has a tank for it. Everything is there. Somebody just modified it, and I thought it was all there, but come to find out it's not. So somebody could have modified it. Yeah, that could be the problem. Trying to do two things on two different fronts here. Somebody asked a question on another video. So yeah, as far as you learning the truck, being that you just got it, drive it around a little bit. Like I said, change the simple stuff, and then worry about the bigger stuff later. That's what I would do. It'd be nice if it's something small, right? And you can just get on the road because, like you said, you just got your authority and you're ready to go. You don't want to have any problems stop you now. That could be very very painful. Yeah. Okay. Well, you said it right there. No check engine light. I don't think is your DPF. That thing is highly wired. That thing has got sensors all over it. What's got my check engine light on is one of the sensors on my DPF. It literally sits on the DPF. So if your check engine light is not on, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. So I would replace the fuel filters. I wouldn't worry about the DPF being bad. I don't think that's it. Um, do an oil change and get this stuff called. I'm gonna put it in the chat so you can see it. Did I spell it right? Nope, I didn't. Let me make sure that's right. This is the stuff that I actually put into my oil. That's it. Now, this is a green fluid that you put into your oil when you do your oil change. When you do an oil change, right? And go buy Harbor. I think they sell it at AutoZone now. Actually, I found a bottle at AutoZone. It's a little bit more expensive. Amazon has it. I usually get it from Tractor Supply because they usually have it for a decent deal. But however many quarts your truck takes, you take the amount of the quart size that you buy. There's a couple different quarts. You can get 1 or 2 quarts. Uh, but I usually get the 2 quart bottle, and I take 2 quarts of oil out and put 2 quarts of hot shot stiction in. And what that diesel engines tend to build up soot and sticky substances inside the engine, and that material, that liquid helps loosen those parts so the engine isn't working harder on itself. So I would do an oil change, do a fuel filters slash water separator change, and get some of that hot shot stiction. Put that in the oil, and run that. You run it the whole time until you do your next oil change, and it helps out. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about the DPF at all, man. I think you're good, man. And at 100, what'd you say, 100,000 miles, 110,000 miles? Yeah, I can't see unless. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's happened before with less miles, but I just don't see that being the issue. I really don't. Yeah. As far as You know, here's another thing. If you know, we're talking about one particular truck, you should also get familiar with the truck that you have, so you know what to look for if you're gonna scale up. Because every truck you get is gonna have some type of problem. They don't get rid of these trucks because they're fantastic. You know, they get rid of them because they're becoming maintenance burdens. The best thing about them is they do fleet maintenance. So every scheduled period that the manufacturer talks about, they do it, and sometimes they do even more. So I think like I said, I'm approaching 6,000 miles on my truck. So I'm about ready to do another oil change. I'm gonna wait to the end of August. I'm gonna do another oil change. That's before the scheduled oil change, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna put the new fresh stiction up in there to make sure that chemical is in there to lube the engine. And I don't know if you know, but there's another one that's called Hot Shot Everyday Treatment. I put Hot Shot Everyday Treatment in my fuel. Diesel is actually used as a lubricant in the engine, and it's crazy because diesel happens to be a very bad lubricant. It's horrible at lubricating when it comes to high friction, high moving parts. So the hot shot everyday treatment that I put in the fuel actually helps lubricate the diesel, so it lubricates the parts better. You're closer to Manassas. I I found a job, a gig in Manassas. Wayfair. Wayfair actually does furniture delivery out of Manassas, and it just doesn't make sense for me to drive all the way up to Manassas to go get the furniture and then have to. They wanted to do somebody in the Richmond area, so but it does the pay that they're paying doesn't make sense. Now, if you stay in the Manassas area, which you're a little bit closer to Manassas than me, it could make sense for you starting off, especially. The only problem I had with it is if what they were paying, and then I got to pay somebody to work with me. It didn't make any sense. Yeah, somebody just on my channel just asked me about the ELD, um, the electronic data logger, how it's also a code reader. So it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. Because I purchased that code scanner, that OBD2 code scanner with the 9 pin and the 6 pin, but it wouldn't read my truck for some reason. So had to send it back. Amazon special. No, no, that was eBay. Because Amazon, they wanted too much for it. Sometimes eBay beats Amazon. I wish. Well, no, I don't want to deliver for eBay. That doesn't sound like it's fun. There's what else could I tell you about just starting Amazon here? Don't ever let anybody in on your badge. So about a week or so ago now, 6 or 7 people got um, their access denied from going inside the building. because when they actually scan somebody else through on their badge, that's 100% no no. I don't. Yeah, a lot of these guys are employees, so you own your truck, you're doing your own thing. So I doubt you would do something like that. But a lot of these guys, they actually work for somebody, and they don't care. They say, "Oh, so, hey, could you let me in?" Yeah, I'll let you in. It doesn't matter. So then they get kicked out of the building, and I don't even know for how long, but they can come in, but it's not the same way that they were coming in before with the same ease. So that's one thing I could tell you. Don't ever scan anybody in with your badge. What else? Because they're kind of changing the rules as they go. I guess they're learning on the fly as they deal with us and we deal with them. Um, I don't know. It's really simple. It's not rocket science. I did it one day, and then the next day I kind of had it down packed. Um, it's really not that. As long as your truck is running right, I don't think you'll have a problem with Amazon Relay. You should be fantastic with it actually. And you're coming out of Charlottesville. I don't know what's out in Charlottesville. In Richmond we have several facilities. I got Petersburg is 27 miles. Um, Chester is 13, no, 14 miles. Ashland is 13 miles. There's three facilities that I can go to, and then there's like three other little ones that I can go to in my area. So, in the Richmond area. So we have a lot of Amazons down here. I don't know how many Amazons are in um, Charlottesville. And I got a friend of mine that's works at Amazon in Charlotte, North Carolina. He's about to move back to Virginia to go to Chesapeake because they're about to build a new Amazon facility down there. So Virginia actually has a lot, and that's because Virginia's centrally located. Michael Joseph, how you doing, man? We're just talking about whatever, Michael. Uh, I had a topic of a 5-year plan. If you want to share with the class your 5-year plan, that'd be cool. And it could be, whatever your 5-year plan is, man. You want to get into trucking, uh, scale that, or you got a different business you want to get into. Me personally, I'm about all types of businesses. I love my 5-year plan ends with me in real estate, so that's where I really want to be. I would not flipping houses, renting houses, commercial properties. That's where I really want to end up. So this trucking thing is going to help me get there. But whatever you can add to it, you see A&D. He just got his authority. So it was a big congratulations to him. He's ready to hit the road. If you're trying to do the trucking thing, that's cool too. Yeah, that's the thing. Right now, you can't miss with trucking. You just can't miss. Oh, hot shot. Okay. Yeah. Listen, that's one of the ones. Okay, I just canceled my truck stop load board subscription because there's more hot shot stuff on there than box truck stuff. So when I look in my area, because I'm not trying to drive across the country. If I wanted to drive across the country, I probably could find some more stuff for box trucks. But I when I look on hot shot stuff in there, Virginia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, all types of stuff, man. Oh, okay. Well, as long as you got some type of headquarters to come out of in the Charlottesville area, you should be good. What type of pickup you got? Just got your authority. That's another. That's another cause for celebration right there. Just got that authority active. Yeah, good thing. Good deal. Now you're doing hot shots. So what's your insurance looking like? My insurance kicks my butt. I ain't even gonna lie. I mean, I'm happy I can pay it, but I wish it was cheaper. Um, Ram 3500, dually. Between that and truck stop, you can't go wrong, man. Whichever one you want to use. I'm gonna go back to that. I was there first before my authority went active, just to see. I paid for 1 month just to see, but you can't go wrong. Nope, you can't go wrong with hot shotting because it's it's so unique. You're not paying for a tractor trailer per se, but you can't fit it in a box. So yeah, you oh nine. Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, that insurance is fantastic. Yep. Yeah, you're about to do it. Now you're going non CDL hot shot, right? So you have to get a a shorter trailer so you don't cross the 26,000 pound threshold. At least that's what Toe Piglet said about going hot shot. You have to get a shorter trailer if you go with dually because the dually is so heavy. And key tip: make sure you weigh yourself. Go to those weigh stations because they'll tell you anything. They'll tell you it weighs anything, and then that ticket is on you, and that's on your authority. So just what was it? Not yesterday. Day before yesterday, I just figured I got a Ford F 350 single wheel. I just found out that I actually have a ball hitch already on my truck. So the only thing is, looking at the other hotshot guy, I'd have to take the tint off my front windows, to comply. You don't want to get crazy tickets or stopped by DOT for silly infractions. But then I was thinking if I do hotshot, I would probably buy a trailer and rent a truck just so I don't have to put those type of miles on my own vehicle. Um, but I would. I mean, the money's there. Ooh, you got a car hauler. Oh yeah. Um, Back in the day when I used to detail, I really thought about getting into that. It was Ugly Duckling at the time. Is that what it was called? The car dealer, Ugly Duckling, something like that. I know there's duck in the name. It was green. Um, I was thinking about getting into trying to haul their cars because they haul their cars to different locations, satellite locations. You can do that for CarMax and some of the dealerships too. So yeah, car hauler. Ooh, yeah. There's money in that, man. Yeah, you're about to get it in, man. You got two trailers, two different types of trailers. Yeah, you're about to get it in. Where are you located? Oh, you're not too far from me. Greenville. Where did I go get my trailer from? Let me see how far that was. That was Greensboro. When I bought my lunch trailer, well, it wasn't a lunch trailer at the time. I bought it right outside of Greensboro, Kaufman Trailers. Yeah, you're still not that far though. Probably about. I guess. I guess it depends on how far you want to run. Um, Actually, with both of them, I tell you, what's lucrative that I thought about. I had thought about on a when I used to detail. I got into detailing boats. Look into getting a boat trailer because with that dually you can carry. I think it depends on the maker. You can carry up to a 40-foot boat on that thing if you had the right trailer. And it is expensive to get a boat shipped from north to south. Oh man, it's expensive. It's beautifully expensive. But people do it all the time, especially, if you got a 35-foot boat and you don't want to drive it to Florida, but you're up in uh, north of New York, D.C., Delaware, somewhere up there, and you want to get your boat down to Florida, North Carolina, Nags Head, or something like that, Hatteras, the Keys, or something. When you get that boat shipped, oh man, that stuff is expensive. I seen a truck just yesterday. It was a hot shot truck, and he had three boats on his trailer. They were smaller boats, of course, but he had three boats on his trailer. You kind of can't go wrong with either one, though, cars and freight. AW. Like I said earlier before you came in, my goal is to get my CDL this year because if I do hot shot trucking, I don't want to even be restricted by a CDL. Not I might not even have those types of loads, but I don't want that to be a restriction. So, oh yeah. So you've already been looking, huh? Yeah, the boats. Um, the first place I seen where people get their boats shipped on a regular basis, and you actually, I mean, it's like a load board, was that U-Ship website. Now, U-Ship website came about from that show Shipping Wars. Remember that show that used to come on? I think it was A&E, Shipping Wars. So Shipping Wars used to come on, and their how they would get their loads was via U-Ship. So you can go on. Another thing that actually pays a whole bunch. It's a lot more work. Not that much, but it's a lot more work. Is an animal hauler. So if you get an animal hauler trailer that's got the compartments in it, and you can take dogs and cats from the kennels from when people want to buy dogs and stuff. So they're buying, let's say, from northern Pennsylvania where a kennel is, and somebody's buying it a pure breed dog in Florida. Well, most people don't travel for that. They actually get those dogs shipped, and those types of shipments are actually very expensive. Okay, Grady White boats. Yeah, it comes right up too. Yeah, that's a pretty boat too. See, my ultimate goal. Listen, a boat is a luxury. I used to detail boats, and I hung around the boaters and learned how they do things. And a boat is throwing money in the water. There's no two ways about it. It's throwing money in the water, but that's some fun. That those are some beautiful boats. Ah, yeah. See, I used to live up in Woodbridge, and when I detailed boats, I there's about 10 marinas in Woodbridge, Virginia, and the Sea Ray dealer that's in Woodbridge is the top Sea Ray dealer at that particular time in the world. So they had the full showroom and they shipped Sea Ray boats all across the world from out of there. So if it's not too big and it's can go on a boat trailer, those guys are taking those boats and they're making a killing. Somebody's paying what $1.2 million for a 40-foot Sea Ray. You're talking. I'll say it was going up to New York. You're talking, let's say, 35, 4,500 for to go up to New York. That's chump change. You throw that in the price. You sneeze at that when you're getting $1 million Sea Ray. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you're getting a $300,000 Sea Ray. Same price. 4,500. I don't care. That's like um, the extra options on a Bentley or something. It really isn't a bad deal. But yes, one of these days, I'm a little eccentric with it. I'll be looking at the big boats. Like I want something that can go out 5,000 mile range. That's what I want. That would. I don't know if I'll ever get there, but that's something that's beautiful to me. I would love to have it. But yeah, I mean, you're already everybody here, man. You guys are in the right section, man. Just getting your authorities, man. You can't go, man. It's a good time. It's a good time. See, right now, when you look at it, when you look at the state of America and where we're at right now, people are getting free money. Um, Jobs are abundant, and people don't want to work. If you are willing to work right now, oh man, everything's open for you. I mean, and not only that, if you're willing to work and take the risk that you guys are taking, that we all are taking to create a business, man, I mean, this is what separates here. And then, 3 or 4 years from now, people are going to be upset because they didn't jump out when the time was right. Whether it be fear, whether it be, they didn't want to, they didn't have the money because all this money that's been given away, there's no excuse of not having the money, you know. Oh man, you already in real estate. Oh yeah, you're doing it, man. That's good. I like to see that you're doing it. See, some people uh, tend people tend to get jealous of other people's success. I know if you're doing it, I can get information from you. I can get knowledge from you. You got information that can help me out. I love it. I love to see that happen. Uh, and the greater your success is, that just tells me that I can get there as well. I see it takes hard work. I know you're a hard worker. If you got all of that going on, I know you're a hard worker, man. I know you are. I know you probably you don't play. I can tell from what you're saying now. I can tell you don't play. It's a grind and it's a daily grind, but you can do it, man. Everybody can do it. So, with your properties, do you flip or are you renting right now? So my goal is to buy. I would like to next year. Oh, okay. Hey, you know what that is? That's motivation. That's what that is. Between me and my wife, we got 6 kids. So I got four. Our youngest child, my youngest child, and her youngest child are the ones we have together. I got two stepsons and three kids of my own. So I know the feeling. That's how I know it's motivation, man. That's how I know because I'm in a similar boat. No pun intended. That's right, man. Hey, that's that motivation that you need right there. That drives you. I know it drives me. Um, I I try to teach my kids via my actions. Like for instance, people say, "Don't smoke," while they're smoking a cigarette. Don't do what I do. Don't drink while having a beer in your hand. Well, I tell my kids, "Hey, listen, you can be what you want to be, but I'm showing them that by me being what I want to be." You know what I'm saying? So kids watch what you do, not what you say. Okay. I mean, that's a smart decision for right now. Um, my first property, I really want to do the work myself, and I'm talking like the work, framing. I'll do everything but the roof. I don't want to do roof. I'm pretty sure I can, but I don't want to get up on the roof. I'll do the electrical, the plumbing. Uh, I'll hang the drywall. I'll probably get somebody to come in and mud it just because I don't want to do that. Um, the concrete, the flooring. I really want to do the first one all myself so I can maximize profit. Because once I get into that game, it's flip season. That's it. It's flip season. And this house right here, I'm going to do the floors in this. I'm a hopefully next year I can get these windows done. But I'm a flip this house as well. So we bought this house for 200,000, but we got a neighborhood behind that's approaching 400,000. So by the time we move out of here, which in my 5 year plan, it's 2025. So by the time we move out of here, I want this house to be ready to be closer to 300,000 because I want to put a garage in the back, asphalt on the side. I do HVAC. I'm gonna put two new HVAC units in this bad boy. Redo these floors. I'm gonna put hardwood floors downstairs, and then I want to tackle the bathrooms, redo the bathrooms, and then this bad boy's got to go, and hopefully for a great profit. That's another. I listen. I put a lot on my plate because I feel I can do it. Another part of my 5 year plan is I want to physically build my own house because I don't want a mortgage again. I'll never do a mortgage again for a personal house anyway. I'm not gonna do it. Um, Banks charge too much. They make too much money off of us. So I want to physically build my own. I actually found my blueprints online already. It's it's a cookie cutter house. It's big because I want a stupid big house, not mansion wise, but just a big house. And oh, hold on. He said YouTube University. Yeah, yeah. And that's all the stuff that I'm going to do to this house. YouTube University. You are 100% correct. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everything other than the HVAC stuff that I learned on the job because I was in HVAC before, as of last year. I used to install new units, design the duct work. I know how to do all types of duct work, whatever needs to be done as far as a house unit is concerned, from package units, gas units, P-Tech units, mini splits. I can do it all. So, yeah, I'm gonna hook this house up, and whoever gets it, I mean, it's gonna be. I'm gonna make sure it's a nice house. I'm gonna make sure it's a really nice house. But yeah, I'm gonna charge them. They're gonna get charged. They gotta pay for it. But yeah, YouTube has been my schooling forever, which is one of my gripes with the way we send kids to college, but they don't learn nothing. They come out entitled. Like, look how hard you work, Michael. Look how hard you work. That doesn't you. We're not teaching kids that. We're not teaching kids to work that hard. We're teaching them you have this piece of paper, so you deserve it. Like no, no. Yeah, HVAC was the very particular skill that I wanted because it encompasses all of it. In HVAC, we've had to dismantle plumbing. We deal with the electrical, low voltage and high voltage. Um, we pretty much do it all. Like when I built my lunch trailer, one of the things that concerned me the most was the electrical. Um, and it's crazy. YouTube University. Right when I got to the point where I had to decipher whether my generator was a bonded generator or not, which nobody tells you. No, you can't find this information. This guy on YouTube who I was following, who does electrical, he put out a video how to tell if your generator was bonded, and I was like, wow. Was he reading my mind? I needed this video right at this time, so I did the electrical in my trailer, put in all the outlets, the GFIs, the fuse panel box, hooked it up to the generator, and found out that my generator was bonded, so it made everything flow so much easier. But that was my biggest fear. I wasn't too worried about the plumbing, but the electrical, I can kill you. Plumbing mess up, you get wet or pooped on. But electrical, that was a big fear of mine, and I passed it with flying colors. So that's one of the things you got to be 100% cautious with, especially when we was in HVAC. I've seen plenty of guys get shocked. That's because I have two multimeters. One is in the box truck, and one is here in the house. No, it's in my shed. But I don't play with electricity, and you got to respect it. But if you respect it, just know how it flows. Just know where it wants to go, and you can get it done. I'm a perfect example of that. I don't think I'm a genius. Maybe I am. I don't know. But the things that I want to pick up and learn, I learn 100%. People, our society today, we're just full of a bunch of gimmies, and those that are the ones that are working hard, they're getting everything they want, man. I appreciate it, Michael. Listen, I'm trying to be like you, man. You're already where I want to be in real estate, so I'm trying to be like you, okay? And that's why I don't, listen, we got 5 people in here. I don't care. I meet one person like you, you're all I needed to say, hey, keep going. You only need one. That's the thing about it. I try and tell people, we don't need a whole courtroom full of, or a whole stadium full of people cheering us on or giving us the information. You just need one person to get you to the next idea, business move, or whatever. And you and A&D have been that today. He just got his authority. It's beautiful. Yeah, the entitlement attitude right now, that entitlement attitude is making millionaires. And it's not making millionaires of the entitled people. It's making millionaires of the people that are willing to work. I tell my kids all the time, my oldest son is 20. And keep telling him, listen, get your butt out and work. And don't just work. Be the hardest worker. Here's one of the things that I've learned over the years that I wish I would have known when I was younger. When you take a job, right? They say the job pays $15 an hour. When you're taking a job, you're negotiating for your best work, not your worst or your average work. And once I learned this secret, it made jobs go a lot easier. So it's like, if you're going to take this job and they're paying $15 an hour, I'm saying, okay, I'm negotiating for my best work. I will give you my best work for $15 an hour. When you get on that job and you give them your best work, then they're looking at you like, man, this guy's working his butt off. Let's raise him up. That's how it goes. It's as simple as that. L5 Patas. How you doing, brother? From Texas. Hey, my mother's in Texas, man. Oh, yeah, we was talking before. I remember you. How you doing, man? So my mind state when it comes to if I had a job or when I did have a job is I do my best work. And everything else, whatever you can't control or whoever doesn't like you or whoever situations, all this stuff falls by the wayside. You just put in your best work every day and watch you succeed. I mean, that's what happened when I started doing it versus that mind state. You know how people say, oh, well, They only pay me $9 an hour. I'm gonna give them $9 an hour worth of work. Okay, well, then you wonder why you get passed over. You wonder why that person that just came in, who it seems like he's kissing butt, is moving up. Well, he's not kissing butt. He's doing the work, you know. But that's what I try and tell my kids. That's why I mentor a couple guys. That's what I tell everybody. Like, be ready to put in some work. Like that's the easiest part. That's the easiest part is actually the work. It's crazy. That's the easiest part. Yeah, where you're at, Michael? Man, yeah, I want a lot on my plate like that because that's cool. Real estate is something that I've always loved. Um, Once I get into position, I'm gonna buy some very cheap properties, and hopefully, at least the first one I want to do myself, and then yeah, I'm gonna be on another trajectory from there. Like with my box truck, my problem, I guess this is my biggest problem with my box truck. Okay, law enforcement in the house, right on, man. So I mean, that means you have a work ethic um, that's kind of there already. You know, um, I don't know. Some people they just don't have that in them to have a work ethic, and I guess that's the best term to use for it is a work ethic. People don't have that no more. It's like give me and then I'll work. That's not how it works. You work, then I'll give you. you know, so that's what I fight on a daily basis with people around me is work ethic. You got to have a work ethic. That's what I'm trying to show my children. You know, I'm not a lazy. Don't get me wrong. I am a lazy person. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I am a lazy person, but I know how to get up and work. I know how when the work's ready to hit the fan and it's time to get up and all hands on deck, I'm going to be right there, get my hands dirty and my feet hurting and my back hurting right along with everybody else, if not more, because I know how to work, and it's just work. It's not the end of the world, it's just work. Is mine? No, we are under VHDA, which is similar to the FHA program, but it's Virginia's version of the FHA program. So I think technically we still qualify for first-time home buyers if we went straight through the FHA program. So if I were to get a piece of property, I can get the FHA type. Okay, let me stop right there. Um, I want the truck to pay for a piece of property cash because I don't want a mortgage because I'm going to do the repairs on it, so I don't want to be paying the fees each month for it. So if I could find like let's say a $20,000 piece of property, I'm pretty sure I could get a FHA loan. But if I get a piece of property that I can get the box truck to pay for cash, then that gives me the time I need because I'm not gonna lie, I still got to learn a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna be learning as I go. Um, as far as remanufacture or refabbing a house, so I don't want to be on a time crunch as far as I got to pay another payment and pay another payment to any type of loan. So if I get the truck to pay for me a house, let's say $20,000, $30,000 little run down something, then I can take the time that I need to fix that house, then flip that house for a lot more than what I could if I were to go for a loan. Yeah, see, and rental, the mind state of flipping and renting, I find they're usually two different people. I have traditionally been, I want to rent because I want legacy income. I want residuals coming in. But with the rent moratorium and all that good stuff I mean, these people the American public has got millions of dollars and still didn't pay rent, you know. That's kind of like, at least for right now. It'll change, but at least for right now, I've shied away from wanting to rent houses as of right now. But I still will flip. I wouldn't mind flipping. But yeah, I just the renting is just so risky right now. Maybe commercial property. I wouldn't mind renting, doing commercial property. But yeah, if I could get 4 units to rent, oh man, that yeah, that'd be fantastic. But even still, if I were to, and see, that's the thing with a loan. If I would, even if I were to get 4 units, I don't know if I'd want to get them with another loan. I'm well, right now I got a lot of loans out, but once I take care of all these loans, I don't want to go back to loans only because, and I'm not against them. I don't want to do personal loans. I want to do business loans. That's the thing about it. So right now I'm working on making my business credit look good. I actually applied for a credit card for my business. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. Um, so as far as personal credit, I don't want to deal with my personal side anymore. I got a bunch of credit cards, no real balances. I probably got like $4,000 out, if that. Um, oh, but I got about 27,000 on my of credit to use, and probably got like $4,000 out. So my utilage is very low. Um, but yeah, I just don't want to deal with um, personal credit. So I'm really trying to get in with my LLC. I want that to be able to get its own loans like big businesses can. And then if I can do that, then that's going to facilitate me getting my first property and getting on to my the real depth of my 5 year plan. So yeah, I have a game plan that I'm trying to execute, and by 2025, I said by 2025 is the end of my 5 year plan, and certain things got to be in place, and certain moves need to have been made by then so I can get to the next level. But yeah, as far as what you're doing though, I mean, you're in prime territory, man. Um, I wish you nothing but the best, man. I hope everything pans out the way you need it to, exactly the way you need it to. So, my thing is, I don't want to be like physically. I don't want to be doing anything that I don't want to do. So that's where I'm trying to get to. Um, I like YouTube. I like doing this YouTube thing. So I want to make this into another part of my business to where I have plans in my head. One of the things that we're missing in our society right now, or a lot of the young folks is missing, is the older folks telling them or giving them the guidance. So I want to incorporate that into, I guess, our culture, all cultures, the American culture. So we got to stop telling these kids they can have it all. They can't. You can't have it all. You got to pick and choose. Um, you cannot have it all, and you won't get it all. And not everybody gets a trophy. You know, there's gonna be losers. What makes the winners and the losers is who's gonna do the work. It's as simple as that. Those who do the work win. Those who do not want to do the work lose. It's as simple as that. So I want to, like, for instance, when I had my detail business, I had guys come up there wanting to put in an application with my business, and dressed like whatever, smelling like they just left the weed farm, and it's like, how do you expect that to translate? I see it as a little bit of a disrespect that you would even come in here like that, but part of the problem is they don't even know that that is a bad look, because nobody's telling them. You know, they'll hear people say it, but they're not telling them in a way that translates to where it's like, listen, you have to put. It's almost like, and I don't know if I've heard this analogy before, and I've heard plenty of people say it, but your uniform makes you. Uh, Give me a second. Your uniform makes you. So when you see a cop, you don't think he's anything else but some, protect and serve cop. When you see a fighter, you think he's, that's what he does. He fights fires. So when the way you present yourself in the world makes you feel a certain way. If I put an S on your chest and give you a red cape, you're gonna feel like saving some lives, whether you can fly or not. But that's what you're gonna feel like doing. So that's one thing I want to incorporate is our dress. Uh, Individuals dress your best. Don't dress like him or her. Dress like you, but clean it up and be the best professional that you can be. And that's one of the things that's like when you just look around, people is just like whatever. And it's like, well, you want me to take you seriously? Now you want me to make you a manager? you know, it's that crazy type of stuff. Let me see. You said I make 1,300 a week now. Take home. I want to do a box truck over the road. Should I? You make 1,300 a week with your box truck now, or on your job, and you want to get a box truck. Is that what you're saying? Because that's not bad take home. How many hours is that? Well, let me let you answer first, because I got a bunch of questions. Because I would say, if you're trying, if you want to go over the road, okay, 1,300 a week. I assume you're working a 40-hour week, right? Uh, is that with overtime? Oh, 75 hours. Ooh, let me see. How much was I? I don't think I was doing 75 hours and pulling 1,300 when I was doing HVAC. That's a lot of hours. It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to try and get a box truck. It's okay. So if you're gonna go over the road, I mean, you probably make that every other day, 1,300 at least every other day. You know, I can do 1,000, $1,200 every other day if I can find the jobs locally with Amazon Relay. If I go over the road, yeah, I damn sure better make $1,300 a day. That's not bad at all. For a job, that's not shabby at all. You're you're in a good space. Actually, because that's your job, you're in a good space to make sure you have the funds. That's the most important part. So if you're going to if you're going to go the box truck route, okay, let me stop right there. First, look into a CDL, look into a Class A, because you will make way more money if you go with Class A. If that's not your cup of tea, okay. You want to do a box truck, okay. You want to go over the road with the box truck, okay. It'd be better if you go with a Class A over the road, because you'll be making like $10,000 a week. But you want to do a box truck, okay. You will make probably 3 or 4 thousand more than that if you're going to go over the road with a box truck. I would say weigh your options and weigh them heavily. 75 hours on the job versus a couple weeks on the road, but you're not working the whole time. That's why I say look into a Class A, because you can't go wrong with a Class A. You just can't. Because if you have, okay, price wise, if you're thinking about getting a box truck, and if you look back up in the chat, I paid 31 for my box truck. A&D paid 30 for his box truck. A tractor trailer is 30,000 too. You just need a Class A. Couple more regulations. You got to get your IFTA. You got to get your drug consortium. But those are the only two extras on top of what I got to do anyway. ELD, insurance, all that stuff. I got to do all of that stuff. So I would say get your CDL and go over the road. If you're not worried about going over the road, I'd say get your CDL. I'd say get your CDL. But if you don't want to go to school, that's another factor, because if you don't know how to drive, I know how to drive already. So when I go get my CDL, I don't have to go to school again. I know how to drive. That's all school does, is teach you how to drive. You don't have to go to school to get your CDL, especially if you have access to train in a truck. You don't have to go to school. but it's wise if you don't know anything about a truck and you don't know how to drive. But if you're going to do the box truck thing, I would say, yeah, go over the road, man. You'll crush. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. As long as you can get a dispatcher or find somebody to get you the loads, or you can find the loads, hands down, you'll win. You will win. Yeah, I think it's like running 30 days now. A full, I know it's running at least a full 21 days. It's running the full 21 days because so many people were getting their authority at the same time over this past 3 or 4 months. Um, I wouldn't call it well, yeah, I guess it is a timeline. So one, if it's running the full 21 days, right at the end is when you got to activate your insurance. Okay, like a couple days before, make sure you activate your insurance so they can see it because you to have an active motor carrier, you got to have active insurance. Otherwise, they'll declassify your motor carrier, basically. Um, yeah. So yeah, if you're you can't go wrong, man. I mean, you're making enough money. Um, I would say now here's what you need to look at. How much do you have saved up to go down this particular path? It would be my next question because that makes a big difference on how smooth this transition can be from job to driving on the road. Okay, so you're talking about renting a truck, and you have 10K right now. Um, so if you're renting a truck, you will probably be okay with 10K. But then you'd have to fact. Okay, so if you're going over the road with the truck, you'll make the money to pay for the truck and still be able to put some away, a hefty chunk away, actually. Um, that might actually work for you. That might actually work for you. So I would say don't go local. Go over the road if you're going to do a box truck. Go over the road with it, and in that time frame of that year that you're talking about, save as much of it as you can. So when you go to buy a truck, no payment. Then you'll have your own truck. You can take care of the maintenance, and then all payment money goes into your pocket. That's fuel for a couple weeks. So let's say you got a. I mean, my truck payment is like 1,200. Um, that's fuel for a couple weeks, man. Easy. That'll have you winning. That will have you winning greatly. Definitely. Man, I'm gonna hit the weights. I'm telling you, by next summer, I'm gonna be a different shape. I'm not gonna be shaped like the letter D anymore. I got to get back right, man. This is the this is the start of 40 and fabulous. That's where we're going. Can I leave that on? Are you buying stuff from Wally World? Who was my role model as a child? Hmm, that was a good question. I didn't have any. I think that was the problem. I think that was the problem. I was a troublemaker, not a huge one. I was a facilitator of trouble on myself. I wasn't like a bully or anything like that, but I got into trouble. I didn't have a direction. I didn't have any focus. My mom, she tried to tell me, but it doesn't translate that well when you're a young boy and your mom's trying to tell you something. It doesn't translate. So, um, yeah, I didn't have any real role models. I don't look at the sports or actors or stuff like that because they're almost it's almost like they're just on TV. They don't really exist to me. So, um, oh yeah, I hate when I buy something and then I read the reviews. It's like, wait a minute, that just happened to something I bought. I was like, oh man, this is exactly what I need. It's the right price. Let me go ahead and buy it. I bought it. And I started reading the reviews like, oh man, this thing sucks. Oh man. Oh, well, hey, listen, I appreciate what you just said, what you just wrote. Um, but let me tell you this: don't send your college kids to college because I tell my kids this. We're not going to college for anything frivolous. You can be a lawyer, doctor, IT, a trade. We don't go to college for business. We don't go to college for psych. We're feeding our kids to the college system, um, and that's a monster. That thing is a monster. It eats children. It gives them no. They don't think outside the box. They're being put in boxes. So I have no problem with college as long as it's for something that's like legit. And we got too many online colleges that give kids degrees and they come out thinking they own the world and everybody owes them something. Trade school is the way even for girls. It's funny because in HVAC, the company that I worked at, one of their things was they had campaigns to try and get more women in, just like a lot of hospitals have campaigns to try and get more male nurses. It doesn't happen because I don't know why, but there's good money in it, but it just doesn't happen that way. But yeah, electricians, they try and get more women in, welders, and these are all high paying jobs. I got a friend that works at the shipyard in Norfolk, working on the naval ships, the aircraft carriers, and he makes a lot of money, you know, and they got a $5 billion contract. His job is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. HVAC. If I don't want to do this, I can hop back into HVAC, and that job is not going anywhere. Why? Because you and I like to be cool in the summer and hot in the winter, so it's not going anywhere. Have I ever cried because I thought the business was going to die in hard times? I've been there. Uh, I was upset, but I don't think I cried. When I lost my detailing business, because I was like a $20,000 a month business. Um, I was upset, but what I did was I said, "It's the way things are." Listen, this business game is not for the faint of heart. This entrepreneur thing, it's not for the faint of heart. You gotta have um, some thick skin and some grit about you to go forward, and it's not something I take lightly. Um, I actually enjoy the battle. It's almost like I get up and I put on my armor and like with my lunch trailer. I go out and I gotta go find the person that wants to eat my food. When I was detailing, I gotta get out and go find the people that want to get their car washed by me. When I was carpet cleaning, I had my carpet cleaning business. Um, that fight is something that it's almost like a drug to me. I like it. It's not everybody's not built for it, and it can break you, but it's one of those things that I actually love. I enjoy. So I was upset, but at the same time, it was like, all right, back to the drawing board. You got knocked down today. When my business went out of business, it was like, all right, you got knocked down today. What are you going to do about it? You're going to sit here and cry about it, or you're going to dust yourself off and get back up and keep fighting. That was 8 years ago, 9 years ago now, almost 9 years ago. I'm still here, so what did I'm smarter, I'm better. That's what it did for me. So, you know, that's a part of life that um, not everybody gets. You know, and that's also the part of being an entrepreneur that keeps people in the job. So you get paid nicely right now. That part will keep you in that job. To where it's like, well, what if it goes down? And I understand that. I understand that 100%. You're living comfortable. You know where your paycheck's coming from. My mind state has always been, well, the job can go down too. The the job can go out of business. You know. So why don't I just try and create my own job for myself, and I can work forever, or as long as my body can take it. Yeah, but trade school is where we should be. Look at our infrastructure; it's crumbling. Everything's crumbling. If those aren't the truest words, Michael, um, that's exactly how you reach success. That, another set of true words. Another set of true words. Listen, success makes. I mean, failure makes you better. It makes you better. You you have to get beat up in this world. On the entrepreneurial side, you have to get beat up to understand how to operate, how to move. Nobody just makes it on their first try. It's just not the way it happens. And if you're afraid of that, I understand it, and this game is not for you. One of the things I've learned over the years is if you look at some businesses, some certain people, they'll have that one person that just stays with them for life. They might have reached the highest of heights, millions, and they got a couple people around them that just aren't going to get there, but they take care of them. You tend to you tend to pull be gravitational with people, and you start to pull people along with you, and they just it's almost like that little fish that hangs on the bottom of a shark. You know what I'm saying? He can't make it on his own, but he's trying. But I'm gonna just stick around the shark because I know eventually I'm gonna eat. You know. So you've been in your job for 7 years. I mean, yeah. Listen, I know where you're coming from. Um, that fear is big, man. I I I, I can't I can't tell you how to operate in that fear. You have to find it in you to break out of that. One of the best ways I can tell you how to break out of that is create the largest nest egg that you can possibly create. Oh, for the next year, go hot dogs and peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Don't eat out. Don't splurge. It's only 1 year. Go as tight as you can. Put as much money in the coffers as you can. So when you're ready to jump out, leave your job on good terms. Say, hey man, I got some mental issues. I got to go take care of myself. I might be back. I might not. I don't know. But I got to go take care of this. Then go do your thing. But have the money in the bank. Pay your bills up for a year. Pay your lights. Pay your water. Pay your phone bill. Pay everything you can up for a year. So at least for a year, plus you got money in the bank, at least for a year, You don't have to worry about anything. So do that. That way, when you go to jump out, it's not as scary because you know I got a year cushion, right? Um, and I got money in the bank for after that year or any maintenance issues with the truck. So everything the truck makes will be profit versus it going out the door. You see? So I mean there's ways you can do it and I understand how that fear is big. It's actually huge. You can't downplay it because millions of people want to get out and they say it every day, "Oh, I wish I could," or "I want to," but you're not. You know, that's the deciding factor right there. That's the haves and the have-nots right there. It really is that fear. But you know, like Michael said, failure is not something to be feared in itself. That's teaching right there. Failure is the teacher. You know, you can. Crazy part is if you plan it correctly, you can plan not to fail. You know, but if it comes, it comes. Nothing you can do about it. Roll with the punches. Get beat up by it and get back up and do it again. That's the way I operate. And I understand everybody doesn't operate that way. You know, I've met hundreds of people that said, you know, I tried the business thing, it beat me up in whatever aspect. Maybe they got divorced and the wife took it all, you know, or whatever the case may be as to why their business went out of business, and they said they won't do it again, so they went back to the job. Yeah, yeah. 75 hours a week, you are definitely doing that. Yeah, and that's one of the greatest rewards of being out on your own is I get my time. My time is more important than anything because you can't get that back. Let's say you lose your job. No, let's say you leave your job. 7 years you've been there. You're about to be year eight. You leave your job. You buy the box truck. Something happens. You lose the box truck. You lost your job. Those are things you can get those back. You know that time that you're spending each week, 75 hours. You don't get that back. You don't get that back. There's nothing you can do to get that back. But those things, that money, you can get that back. That's easy work. You can get that back. That's nothing but work, and you're already doing work, so you can get that back. But that's one of the things that pushed me in the entrepreneurial route is that time is precious, man. We only got so much time here. What type of impact are you trying to make? And, you know, how much time you want to spend making somebody else rich? Not to say that that's a bad thing, because, you know, as stepping stones, some people will never do this. What Michael's doing, the stuff that he's doing, he just bought 2 trailers, he's got property, he's about to hit the road. Some people will never do that. They never will. They'll look at him and be like, "Oh man, I wish I could." But you can. But they're, you know, they're too afraid. And unfortunately, that leaves them sitting in their job for the rest of their lives. I think it's 11 hours. I rarely be looking at that thing. It's 11 hours. 11 hours total. I think 14 is like an emergency or something if you're going to do some emergency hours. Yeah, I mean, people can definitely do it out here. Um, but then, you know, the way our society is built, if everybody's rich, then nobody is. That's the crazy part. Uh, and if everybody's out doing their thing, then who's working for me? Unfortunately, that's just the way the world is built. Everybody's not going to get it. Everybody can't be the boss. Everybody can't be the captain, you know. So, but my mind, I'm of the mind state that if you're going to be the boss, you need to be you know, a humble person. Um, so the people that are under you, they don't just work their job. You're somewhat responsible for them. You know, so you give them. It's kind of like how, let's take this past year. Now, remember in 2019, there was a big uproar about fast food workers getting $15 an hour. No, they shouldn't get $15 an hour. But then 2020, you wanted them to go out with the deadly virus to feed you, me, and all of us, but you didn't even want to give them $15 an hour. But now they're risking their lives, putting their lives on the line to make sure this country can still eat. And it's those things. It's like McDonald's is $1 billion company. You can't get in $15 an hour. What's another $1 billion going to get you? Like once I get to the point where I got a million or two, maybe a couple million, and I know I'm solidified, it's like, what's another $1 million going to get me? Nothing. I don't want an island. I don't need Lamborghinis. I don't need a 15,000 square foot mansion. I'm going to build like a 4,000 square foot house, but I don't need a mansion, you know? But it's like, what's another 20, 30 million going to get me? Nothing. It's not going to get me nothing, that, especially the way I think. I mean, some people is like, well, I'm just going to put it in the bank and keep putting it in the bank and, you know, keep stacking it up. But me, I'm like, if you're not being a service to people, what are you here for? This planet is community. So if you're not here to try and help people, what are you here for? Really, what are you here for? Yeah, Michael, he broke it down. Yeah. Go shoot. What's the personal question? Michael, I've gotten to this. Um, age brings clarity. Brings wisdom. Um, there's so many things that people get wrong. I do not go to church, but I do read the Bible. I don't like the way church is set up, but yeah, I do read scripture though. Yeah, my mind state has changed so much. I think about my 20-year-old self. Oh my God, he was an asshole. He was a selfish asshole, you know. But that's a younger person, and I feel sorry for the people that don't get to grow old, don't get any of these. These are wisdom hairs. That's what these are. I feel sorry for those that don't get any because you change, man. I tell my kids all the time, you think you're gonna be the same? You will change. Life will if you go through life right, it will change you. It will change you. Um, I do my best not to see everybody as an enemy. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I still can snap over a news article and cuss some people out on YouTube for saying some stuff that I feel is dumb. It might not be dumb in the broad spectrum of things, but you know, I still sit back and think, okay, I've done that, but and that's why I say be the change you want to see, because at the end of the day, if that person thinks that way, they might think that way of a particular group or think that way of a particular person or scenario. How do I change them when I meet a person like that? How do I encounter that person and say, how do I make you change? Or not change, but how do I make you see the other side? Or just get a glimpse of the other side? How do I do that? Simple. I got to be the opposite of what you think I'm supposed to be. I got to be not false. And I don't consider it being like a two-faced or false or anything like that. But it's like if I want to encounter nice people, maybe I should be a nice person. If I want to, if I want to talk to people online and have them be open and knowledgeable and give me their knowledge and for the things that I want to pursue, maybe I should give the knowledge that I have to somebody else who wants to pursue, who's not in my position. I'm trying to get to the millionaire status. Maybe I should look at the people that's not on my level, which my level ain't nothing crazy, but maybe I should look at people that's not on my level and give them what they need, and then it'll be reciprocated and somebody will find me and say, hey, I'll give you what you need because you're paying it forward, and being a community. We're all on this planet together, man. That's the thing about it. Like, everything we've ever known and ever done has been on this big blue and green ball. So how much hate and BS can you do on one planet? I know it's a lot, but at the same time, do you have to participate in it? Have I ever hit rock bottom? Twice. I got back up, man. I got back. Rock bottom is here's something. You are responsible for a good 98% of your problems. Everybody, not everybody, most people play the blame game. You are, when I hit rock bottom, it wasn't because of the things that was going on around me, it was because of me. When I hit rock bottom again, it wasn't because of the things that was going on around, it was because of me, because of the decisions I made. That's why I hit rock bottom. Once you it's a cheat code. It's a cheat code. Once you realize what you do to cause your own grief, just stop doing it. Problem solved. It's that simple. Just stop doing it. You go to your job, and this is what I tell my kids. You go to your job, you don't like your job, so you act a certain way, which gives you negative attention, and your boss is looking at you, you get fired, now you don't have a job. Who did that? Was it your boss? Because the person's quick to say, oh, my boss is picking on me, they don't like me, this and that. No, it was you. You didn't do what you signed up for. You said you was going to come here and do this job, but you didn't do it. That's your problem. That's what you did. Yeah. See, and that's what rock bottom does, though. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to teach you. Um, I don't smoke anything. I don't drink, um, because I never wanted those to be vices that facilitate me staying at rock bottom or even close to the bottom. Um, people people have a hard time blaming the one person that really causes their problem. That's the man in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Everybody blames everybody else, but it's you. You have to look inside first. That's the first person you have to look at is yourself. What did I do to cause this problem? Even some of the foulest stuff you can think of, you know, um, places you shouldn't have been when things went down. People lose their lives in parties, but you know that was a possibility at that type of party. Well, we shouldn't think that way. Yeah, well, you can give the benefit of the doubt all you want, but life is life, you know. And if you like, for instance, me and my wife, we have a rule: no corner stores. We don't go to corner stores. Um, in Richmond, there's been plenty of shootings and murders of the right person that they're looking for and the wrong person in corner stores. So we don't, if it's not a Wawa, a Sheets, you know, we don't go to corner stores. That's just our rule because that's a place where certain things can happen. Even though it's just a standard store, a certain type of person goes to the corner store and has certain type of thoughts on their mind. And they're not thinking like I'm thinking right now, like, let me do the best I can in life and stop blaming everybody. No, they're thinking the opposite. Let me blame everybody else because it ain't me. So I don't go to corner stores because I don't want to catch nobody's bullet. You know, some of the places I be, bullets fly. I don't be, you know, I don't hang out in any situations where bullets tend to fly, but I just don't go to corner stores. In no city, when I lived in DC, don't go to corner stores. Nope. Don't do it. Not to say that I couldn't get caught at a Wawa. It's not, but Wawa has cameras, so the crime is most likely will be captured on great surveillance. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's also facilitated my hunger as well, and that's just something you without hitting rock bottom, you don't develop that type of energy. My mother did the best she could. Um, our childhood wasn't horrible. I think we were just bad kids. We were just into everything. Me and my older brother, we were just into so much stuff. We gave her hell, but my mother, um, she did her best to keep us out the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? We didn't live in the best of places, but we didn't live in like public housing. She was like, no, she's gonna work, and I that's another reason why I gotta hurry up and get rich because she still works 2 or 3 jobs. She doesn't need to. She's by herself. She doesn't need to work 2 or 3 jobs, but she does because she's done it all her life to make sure we stayed out the ghetto. And my kids now, I refuse. You know what I'm saying? I refuse to have them in the subpar environment that I know that they don't deserve. I don't believe the people in the ghetto deserve to be there. So if I don't believe they deserve to be there, I'm gonna have a high standard for myself that I don't deserve to be there. I don't care what's free there. No, I haven't listened to the Social Proof podcast, but I would say my childhood made me a one of the things that because I'm originally from Colorado. I'm not from Virginia. My mother's from California. My one of my brothers, he actually got drafted to the NBA. I don't talk about him much, but he didn't get to go in the NBA. That's the part that kind of made me mad because I wish he would have got a different agent. He ended up going overseas to play, but he got drafted. He's from California. My other brothers were all from Colorado, and when we came, one of the things that opened my mind is moving, which we didn't move because my mom was well to do and we could just move places. We moved because we had to, and that opened my. We moved to California. We moved to all different parts of Colorado, and then we moved over here. So I got to see different things. You know, really, Colorado. Oh, you're from Los Angeles. Okay. Yeah, my brother, the one that played basketball, he's in Bakersfield right now. But some people like when we moved over here to Virginia, we moved to a small town called Hopewell, Hopewell, and there's another town next to it called Petersburg, and the people from these two towns, they're literally like two 10-mile wide towns, and neither one of them have never been to the next town over. And then they don't come up to Richmond. It's like, but you live right there though. It's crazy. Okay, I'll check that out. Odessa. I was just watching a YouTube channel. They said the word Odessa, but they said it wrong, and everybody in the comment section was like, "What? Like, what is that?" It was funny. Like, I forgot how they said it, but everybody's like, they had to spell it out the right way. It's like, no, it's Odessa. What are you talking about? It's Odessa, Florida, Texas. Yeah, see, my goal, and I don't care if 8, 9 people come through all the time, but I'm gonna have a log of conversations of that anybody can stumble upon and get some good information um, from my YouTube channel because I think it's important, man. Um, in our age of social media, people talk so little, so little, and that's why I want to get the Zoom call going. I have a way for people to call on my phone too, because I actually want to talk to people, conversate. I want to hear voices. Like we're so in the age of text, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. Uh, it's funny. Somebody says Oh, my mom died, and they put it on Facebook and everybody likes it. It's like, what? You see the disconnect? You liked it. Now, I get it. I understand now. That's what the like is for. But at the same time, a like means, oh, I like that. you know? Yeah, Texas is, that's a different world of heat right there. See, Virginia and North Carolina, they're kind of the same. It's like the humidity is ridiculous here. And I think it's our trees. I think our the type of trees that are here, I don't know what they do, but they just hold a type of oppressive heat that makes an oven jealous. It's like it just cooks here. I was out when I went to go mess with my truck earlier today, and it's like, wow, it, I got the AC blasted in the house, and it feels so good in the house. You step outside, it's like I done stepped into a blanket. It's hot. Everybody around the country talks about this type of heat that's in North Carolina and Virginia. It's funny. And see, in Colorado, it's called the Mile High City, uh, mile high above sea elevation. So there's really no humidity there. So when it's 100 degrees, it bakes different. It stings different. Have I ever thought about doing dispatch? You talking about dispatch for people, dispatching like a service for other truckers? Yeah, tell me about it, Michael. I just bought that weight set. If you look at my video, the video that I just posted earlier today, I just bought that weight set. I took it to the shed and started putting it together. By the time I literally just started moving parts, my face is just soaked. It was so hot. No, I haven't. See, okay, the dispatching for people, that's a grueling amount of work, man. You really got to be dedicated to sitting in front of the computer, and you're really on the hook for people if you're going to be dispatching. I can't do that. I'm not even going to lie. Yeah, I'd that's one thing I'd rather drive. I'd have to hire a dispatcher. I hate to say it, but that's more like a female job. My wife, she's been in customer service for 10 years, and she has no problem sitting at the computer all day. I can't do that. I got to get up. Um, that's one of the reasons why I chose the particular businesses that I've picked in my life. Um, Detailing, carpet cleaning, truck driving, lunch trailer. They all have something in common. They all go to different places every day, right? So what I learned about myself is I used to, like when I was younger, I used to always work in warehouses because there's a lot of warehouses here in Central Virginia. Um, I have a hard time going to the same building every day. It I don't know what it does, but it just does something to me. I cannot work in the same building every single day. So HVAC, I go to a different house every day. I can go to the same house another day. Like give me 2 or 3 days where I don't come to your house and I come back. But I just can't go to the same house, same building, and do the same work. Like let's say I sat at a cubicle and did my work. That would drive me crazy. I hear it's anywhere from 2 to 10%. So I was looking at one of the YouTube guys today. I can't remember his name, but his headline says he's made 32,000 in the past month. He crushed online. I think he was maybe 4 or 5 days he wasn't on the road doing loads, but he made 32,000 gross in 1 month. His dispatcher takes 10%. I mean, he made 32,000, so he had them moving. So would you really miss it? I think he said ended up being like $900 or something. Would you really miss it? No, it was more than that. It was more than 9,900. But at that price, I mean that's on the high end of what I've seen from dispatchers. I've seen them be a lot cheaper than that, like around the 3 to 4%, maybe 5%. But and he's another example of if you go over the road and you go hard, you can make 30 grand with a box truck. Like that's ridiculous. No, that's like seriously ridiculous. Like 32. He showed the figures. He showed all his loads. He really did that. 32,000 in 1 month on the road with a box truck. He went hard though. I mean, I personally don't want to drive that much. No, I don't. I don't want to drive like that. No, I don't want to do that. How you doing, Terry? Um, yeah, I surely can. Let's see. The Ford. Um, okay, so I was just talking about over the road stuff. To me, the Ford is not meant for over the road driving. It's comfortable, but I would not take it. Let's say here to Texas. I wouldn't do that. Me personally, because it doesn't have springs in the seats. So being that it doesn't have springs in the seats, it's not that great at over the road to me. Um, it's comfortable though. Like if you're doing, like I do Amazon. I do Amazon Relay pretty much exclusively right now until I can find a dispatcher to get back with me. But the runs that I do are 2 or 300 miles round trip, maybe 400 miles max round trip, and it rides great. I mean, the power is there when I go up in the mountains with the load. Now that I changed my fuel filter and water separator, I get I probably slow down to about 55, 50 miles an hour, fully loaded, and some of those pallets are really heavy. But yeah, it's a nice truck. It's got the one I have has a Cummins engine with the Allison transmission. That's the best combo. That engine is tried and true. You can't go wrong with that engine. Most of the stuff on the truck is easily fixable. It's an inline six. It's easily repairable. Everything's right there for you to get to it, like most diesel trucks. But this one is particularly simple. Um, yeah, it's a nice truck. Um, the pay for an employee like that. Okay, so at Amazon, they actually have guys that are doing that. Because everybody that's in Amazon, um, hold on, Terry, my truck is a F 750. I think it's XLT something. Uh, but yeah, the F 750 with the ISB Cummins inline six. But a lot of the guys at Amazon are actually employees. They're not owner operators. Only like a handful of us, maybe about 30% of them are actually owner operators, and they get paid. I want to say they get paid by the hour, man, because a lot of them they are slow. I said something about this in one of my earlier videos with Amazon. It's like you'll see them working. They don't work like me because it's my truck and I'm on the line and I'm trying. The faster I get done, the more I get paid per hour. It's a percentage game. So they move really slow. They get their pallets really slow. They're picking their boxes really slow. So they just got the mentality of I'm an employee, and that's what I see on them. So um, how you pay them is however you feel you like to pay them. Um, so if somebody's going over the road with your truck, they're going to make a whole bunch of money, and I don't. I mean, there's so many ways you can pay them. It just depends on how valuable they are to you. Me personally, if I had a truck driver, I'm trying to pay them to make sure I don't have to drive. So I'm trying to pay well. That's my thing. I really am trying to pay well. I don't want him to question. do I want to go in today? I want to be like, I'm going to go make this money. I don't have to take care of none of the back end. I don't have to take care of the fuel. I don't have to take care of the truck, but I'm going to go make me a buttload of cash. That's the way I want my employees to feel like. Uh, what would I recommend for a beginner like you? I would say, like I said, stuff your bank account full of money. Because if you're thinking about going the employee route, you definitely need more money. Not only for the truck, but for the person. Just in case your money gets funny from Amazon or whoever you, let's say you're over the road, you're factoring or whatever. Let's say your money gets funny with them, that employee still needs to get paid. By law, they still get paid. So if you're going to go that route, I'd say put even more money in the bank. Do whatever you can to, get a second job if you have to, and put as much money as you can in the bank. That way, when it comes to if you're going to go that route with an employee, then you got workers' comp. If it's not a family member, you got to get workers' comp. You know, um, it's just a different ball game. So you got to really, really be prepared to handle that. Um, that's why it'd probably be best for, even if you're going to go with a box truck, to go over the road yourself first. And once again, stuff as much money in the bank as you can. Get up to 100,000 and then get an employee. And then once you get an employee, when they get sick, it's not going to kill you to not run. When they have issues, they might get a DUI. Then you got to get a new employee. It's not going to run you in the ground because life happens to them. It's like one of my biggest problems with employees, man, is like people that they let life happen to them too much. Things that you 100% have control over. Like I said earlier, you are 98% responsible for the things that happen in your life. It's your fault. It's your fault. Oh yeah, yeah. It's late over here. Yeah. So the keep trucking. Good night, L5. I'll talk to you later, man. You have a good night. Um, the ELD has the code reader because it's already hooked up to the system, and I thought it had did it already because I ended up buying a code reader off eBay, but for some reason it wouldn't read my truck. So I went on to the website last night, and it just so happened to the section that I was in just so happened to show a fault, and I was like, oh well, finally it shows me, and then it just reads you a regular fault code. When you go online and look at the fault code, it'll tell you what part that is, and I just went online to see exactly where the part is and the shape of it because that's what it wasn't telling me. There's actually three sensors on the DPF, so I didn't know which one was which. So once I figured out which one actually has the hoses, because it said something about reading the high side and the low side, and there's one that does that. So okay, that's got to be it. Then I looked up the code number on that. Then I called the Ford dealership, and that's how I got to the correct part. So that thing is, like I said, it does what it needs to do, and acts like a code scanner. So it shows you the faults automatically. So that part actually comes in tomorrow. Uh, and it's really simple: two bolts, two hoses that you got to take off, and one electrical clip. Once I replace it, hopefully my check engine light goes off. And if it doesn't, like I said, the code reader is going to tell me. So I should know exactly what's going on with it. You're talking about the DPF? Would I ever clean it? Um, what cleans it is supposed to be the regen process. So Here's the crazy part about that particular piece. That piece going bad has stopped my regen. Yes. So it's not a filter that you actually clean. It actually, to clean it, it actually goes through the regen process. The regen process heats it up. When it heats it up, it burns everything off in there. That's cleaning it. So that little piece has actually stopped my regen process. So my truck hasn't been, okay, you got to get your truck up to like 55 miles an hour for a decent amount of time on the highway, and that does your regen. So my truck hasn't been doing regen since my check engine light came on, and that's all a part of the EGR system and all of that. So as soon as I fix that part, and if the check engine light goes off, then my truck will most likely, next time I hit the road and I got to drive for 2 hours, it's probably going to do a regen, which gives you a little bit better fuel economy. So that's what that stuff is supposed to do. That's what it's meant for. And I'm kind of glad I found out the part, because I didn't know it actually killed my regen too. So it's not like you actually clean it. You just drive and it cleans itself. The engine, the ECM will say, "Hey, it's time for a regen." It's getting clogged in there, and then it burns all that stuff off. It actually heats that thing up and burns it all off. You talking about the engine filter? Because mine doesn't have a filter at the unit. The DPF is that big canister underneath the vehicle, so there's not a filter on it. Um, you can, oh, air filter. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, shoot, get you a K&N so you don't got to keep buying them. I don't. Do they even have K&Ns for them? They might not have K&N filters for them, but yeah, yeah, definitely. Clean that as often as you need to. When it comes to those types of filters, like when I change my fuel filter and my water separator, you should change those every 10,000 miles. And that helps. It really does help. Um, you said, oh, not the air filter? What type of truck do you have, Terry? What? Huh? I haven't seen anything like that. I don't know of a filter that's in the DPF. The DPF is a filter itself, but from what I know, that filter gets cleaned by the regen process. DP. Let me see. Looks like some of them do actually. They're not all built alike. Hmm. Some of them actually do get cleaned, or you can clean them. Okay, so here's one that actually has a almost like a twist on filter on it. Mine doesn't have that though. Huh. See, from what I've seen for this particular filter, I mean DPF. Let me see. take place as part of healthy diesel engine running cycle, but active regeneration can fail once a blockage reaches a certain level. Sometimes a forced regeneration may be carried out by the mechanic. See, they're talking about the regen process. Okay, so there is something you can put into, I think you put into your fuel that helps clean it. Oh yeah, DPF clean. Well, if I were to, I might look into that then. Let me see. One of the companies that I like to use products from is called Hotshot. Um, they're what I used in my oil. I use the Stiction, Hotshot Stiction in my oil, and I use Hotshot fuel additive everyday treatment. So every time you fill up, you put a 2 ounces in the fuel, in the diesel fuel. I do that on my pickup truck too, especially on my pickup truck, because CP4 pumps are known to fail on because of how unlubricating diesel fuel is. So if there's a hot shot additive, you add it to the fuel system, and that helps clean the DPF. Oh yeah, the Extreme Diesel. Oh yeah, I haven't used this one yet, but huh. Well, I just learned something. I think I'll listen. I've never gotten that particular uh, cleaner, but I, I I'll go get some. It's a 16-ounce bottle for 18, 19 bucks. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to research that. If, like I said, mine doesn't have any particular filter on it or anything. But if there's something I can do to help facilitate the cleaning of the DPF, yeah, yeah. Okay, I just learned something then. So when that part comes in tomorrow, I'm gonna go check it out and make sure um, I can. I'll add this right after. And I've seen this bottle on the shelf. Many clean cylinders, fuel line, tank, and disperses moisture, reduces need for DPF regeneration cycles up to 50%. Oh yeah, and boosts cetane up to 7 points. Wow. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to get some of that then. Uh, t- how you doing, Don? It's a late night over here. Yeah, Terry, that's correct. Uh, I didn't really care which one I got, but having the Ford, you're 100% correct on that. Easy to work on, very easy to work on. The That engine is almost like the one that's in the Dodge. I think it's just a little bit bigger, but easy to work on. All the parts are easy. You can get them locally. You don't have to go to International or whatever Hino has in theirs. That engine that they carry in theirs. Oh yeah, yeah. It's not too late. Yeah, y'all 3 hours behind. Oh yeah, you about to hit the road. I've been hitting the road all week. Listen, I've already the loads came out around 3 o'clock today, so I've already stacked up my week. Um, Sunday morning to Friday morning, I got 6 days, and hopefully they don't take no days from me because I had 6 days last week and they took 2 days from me. They canceled two loads. I was kind of mad about that because I was ready to get it in last week. Yeah, the Ford is definitely easy to work on. I mean, it's a comfy ride. I would say put a piece of plastic or something soft over the armrest, your left armrest, because that kills me. I still haven't done it, but I've been lazy. I need to put some type of foam or something over that. But other than that, it's a smooth ride. It's very comfortable. I don't have any. I have a bad back to begin with, but even with my bad back, a little bit of stretching and I'm good. It's not a bad ride at all. Even going across some of the bad roads that we got here, it's not that bad. It really isn't. Yeah, all my loads, I try to be in the $2.60 range. Um, there's only so much you can ask for. I'm hoping by the time. Oh, Don, did you get the email about the new criteria for early access? Now you got to have an A or A plus. That's gonna mess a lot of people up, man. That's gonna mess a lot of people up. A lot of people is not gonna um, they're not gonna survive wanting to get into the Amazon game because they're if like I got a B right now, so I would be out. I don't even know how they're gonna make that happen. Yeah, they're gonna that, it seems like they're trying to I don't know maybe get rid of the box trucks. They can't but to a certain degree because the fleet isn't there for them to get rid of them totally. So it seems like they're making it harder for the box trucks or whatever. I don't know why. And their rating system is stupid to begin with. Yeah, Don. Terry wants to get a Ford too. The Ford is nice, man. The Ford is nice. I can't complain about it. I haven't used Poster Truck yet, but I hear you can get loads. I kind of like having the early access so I can just fill out my whole week and not wait for them to last. Because sometimes they'll last minute hit you with something on Poster Truck, and that's not fair because if you reject it, then they give you even more bad score. I heard that from Box Truck Couple. They said they posted a truck, then they hit you with it at the last minute. So she had to go in there and tell them about the time frame because they give you like an hour. I think it was like it was too far away for them to hurry up and get there because they were on the road or something like that. You know, like when it's early access Friday, I see all the lows and I get to go through, see Monday through Saturday and say, okay, you know what, I want this one. I try and stick in the 375 to and up range at least. You know what I'm saying? So it scares me too. And that's probably why I haven't done it. Like I don't really want to do it that way. I mean, but I will if I have to. I mean, if, things get too crazy. I mean, I just have to hit the road a little bit. I'm not trying to go crazy with it, but I will hit the road. I will go out a little. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like to control myself. I don't know. I don't know. These Amazon is they flex their muscle too much. It's like they need us just as much as we need them. You know, everybody's paying for Prime. How late would your shipment be if uh, all these box trucks weren't out here to get it done? But then they act like we're useless or something. How many stops you got tonight, Don? One thing I noticed about their stops is that it seems like they're adding more stops for the same price or less now. You know, I don't try and get 4 and 5 stops. Million mile antifreeze. Ooh, okay. Well, let me look that up. Oh yeah, HD vehicles. Okay, got it. It's blue. The stuff I got in the truck now, I think, is orange. Okay. So everything running right on the truck now? Let me. I wonder. You guys see that? I gotta put this in my. I gotta put this in my pickup truck. So I don't know, and I don't know if you're supposed to put this into big diesels as well. If they take that this same type of system, but I guess the pH on the coolant goes bad, and then you gotta take that and put that into the pickup truck. Clutch pedal pin broke. Wow. How'd you fix that? I hate little problems. My lights went out again. The other night, my lights went out. No, last night, yeah. My electrical gremlin. Something's, I don't know if there's a pin that's loose. I'm going to have to go through it and see if there's a pin that's loose because it was chattering my whole drive. You could just hear it sounds like wires barely touching. It was driving me crazy. Oh, wow. Problems on the road, man. See, I plan to have a road kit. I need to get a tool set for the road because I'm not into calling people. I get up under there and fix it. That's what I tend to do. I'm not even gonna lie. You had to tape it and keep going. Hey, do what you got to do, man. Better than calling a tow truck. Oh yeah, easy fix. Easy fix. And see, because a lot of these trucks are rentals, people tend to run them into the ground, and that pedal takes a lot of force from people kicking it. Taking off like a bat out of hell. So yeah, and my pedal's plastic. So if you hit it with the right amount of force, you can break it. You can break all types of components on it. You know, if these guys own the truck, they treat them a little different. But because you don't own it, it's like a rental car. You're gonna take off the line like it's not yours. Unfortunately. Um, yeah, certain straps, like I was just looking at the DPF, the strap that goes around the DPF, it's pretty rusty. Um, the frame, it's not horrible, but it is rusty. Uh, it for the age that it is, it doesn't look bad at all though. I'm really in tune to the rust on trucks like that because I same thing with my pickup truck. Um, the rust isn't actually bad at all. Where's the worst part? I'd probably say the frame underneath the box, the ribs underneath the box is probably the worst part of the rust that I have. Um, well, see, that's underneath the dash. Something's going on with one of the big pins under not it's not a relay. It's like a wire harness clip. Something's going on with that. And my truck did come from the Alabama area, so yeah. Who knows who did what, man. People run these trucks into the ground, especially when they're renting them. They do whatever with them. They don't care about. I mean, that thing could have been sitting up, and because people hitting bumps and train tracks, it could have knocked it down and pulled a wire or something, and now it's loose. I don't know, but it's just I just got to get up under there and see exactly. Oh, either see what's going on or strap it to where it doesn't move. Because part of the problem is, like, I went to Chesapeake day before yesterday, and some of those bumps had me damn near hitting the roof, and that's when it started acting up again. I'm like, what the hell is going on? My lights is going out. My running lights wouldn't come on, and I'm moving the thing, and all I hear is it chattering. So I don't know. It's just got to figure something out with that thing. Yeah, that's exactly what that's. And I, it's funny you said that because I just put some zip ties in the truck earlier today. I'm gonna go out there and do it tomorrow. I said I'm gonna fold them up and zip tie that thing still so it can't move because if it doesn't move, you don't hear it. The reason why it's moving is because I'm bouncing and that's what I can hear it chattering, and that's because it's over there moving. So yeah, I'm a zip tie that thing solid. How early do you get to your runs? I usually try and leave. If my runs have lately have been at like 120. Last night was 240. So last night was 240. I left at like 12:30. I went to go get fuel, and by the time I get there, I have about 30 to 35 minutes before the time is there. So yeah, I try and get there at least 30 minutes early. And last night there was a few trucks. Sometimes there's a whole bunch of trucks, but since Prime Day and all that stuff has went away, mostly when I get there, I don't have any trucks there. There's like nobody there. Oh man, I don't stick to topic at all. I don't stick to the topic at all. We're supposed to be talking about 5 year plans over here, getting people's 5 year plans. That's cool. Once like I said, I'm gonna do this every Friday because I like talking to people. It's therapeutic for me. Um, Grows my particular network and grows the network of everybody else. Okay. Um, yeah, I like talking to you guys and getting everybody's perspective. I'm not. I'm I'm a forever student. I would consider myself, so I like hearing other people's stories, and that stuff gives me motivation to see other people doing what I'm doing or better than I'm doing or whatever. If somebody's not doing what I'm doing and they want to do what I'm doing, I can help them get there. So I'm gonna keep going live every Friday because I like talking to you guys. As long as as long as somebody comes in, I'll have something to say. That's just the way I am. I can talk. But it's yeah, I guess it's been long enough though. I didn't plan on staying on here this long, but I was having good conversation tonight, so it's all good. I got to talk to some good people. Yes, I am on Instagram. My Instagram is actually in the description of the video. Don, I'm thinking about a day cab too, man. I'm thinking about a day cab like next year, honestly. You can't go wrong with the tractor trailer. I am going to get my CDL this year. I'm going to get my CDL before the rules change for next year. But yeah, you just can't go wrong with the tractor trailer. Um, Day cab or not, that's the way I see I'm headed. You know, yeah. Eventually, what I'd like to do is, whether it be like Instagram, uh, have people talk through Instagram or set up a phone number so people can talk. But I want to hear voices. I want to have the conversation because this lags a little bit. So while I'm talking, I see stuff come through, and then it kind of interrupts the conversation or changes my thought. Yeah, definitely a lot easier to find work, and that's my problem. I mean, I can make $5,000 and not leave the state each week versus what I'm making now, which ain't shabby, but I can make a lot more if I had a tractor trailer, or if I left the state. I mean, add another 2, 3 thousand on top of that per week. You just can't compare. That's why I tell people look into that first. Look into a CDL first, and if that's not your stick, then do a box truck. There's nothing wrong with the box truck at all. It's just if you have options or you're creating a plan, create a plan for the bigger money, not the smaller money. You know, I don't plan on hitting the road like that. So if I get a tractor trailer, it becomes much easier for me to make $5,000 a week. Yeah, I feel you, Don. Yes, this week coming up should be a $2,300 week for me, and it's too much work. It's it's too much work. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's not too much work, but it's too much work for what we're doing. Amazon technically needs to pay more. Um, they're technically ripping us off when you look at it. Even though they're not long runs, the fact that we got to touch it, it should be another $200-300 on top of it. If it was the Amazon workers doing it and all we did was pick up and drop off, they're right in the ballpark for the price. But being that we got to touch it, it's too much work. It's too much work. So yeah, tractor trailer is where I see I'm headed, and then that way, more than ever, I don't have to be attached to Amazon because Amazon is the best thing smoking for box trucks right now. If you don't want to go over the road, it is. Pallets falling, falling all over the load because they don't know how to wrap them. They stack the small boxes, the light boxes on the bottom, and the heavy boxes on the top. Like, what are they teaching them over there? It makes no sense whatsoever. Well, I guess this is going to be my night then. I'm almost at 3 hours and 30 minutes. I did not mean to be on here this long. I said, you know what, tonight I'm gonna cap it at an hour and a half. Yeah, okay. I got to talking, man. Listen, I can talk. I can talk for 4 more hours if you want to go, but I'm gonna end it. I can talk, man. I got a lot of stuff in my head that I got to get out, and somebody can get this knowledge, and not just mine, your guys' knowledge. Because Michael, you've done some things. Don, Terry, you guys got stuff that help out this community. So, and that's what I look for. I'm not just trying to give. I'm soaking up what you guys have to offer too, because I'm a forever student, so I need it too, and the motivation. It's a live full of hustlers right here. Yeah, I'm about to get off, man. So next Friday again. You stay safe out there, Don. Make sure your load goes good. Do your pre-trip inspection. Make sure you stay safe out there. Have a good run tonight. And crash in the bed in the morning. But next Friday, 9:30, I will see you guys again. Whoever comes through, we'll chat it up again, man. I love talking to you guys. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.